My dear students, now I am going to explain periodic properties. What are the periodic properties? See, when elements are arranged in the increasing order of their atomic number, elements with similar properties reoccur at regular intervals of their atomic numbers. That is due to similar valence electronic configuration. This repetition of properties is called periodicity, and such properties are called periodic properties. When elements are arranged in the increasing order of their atomic number, elements with similar properties reoccur at regular intervals of their atomic numbers. This repetition of properties is called periodicity, and such properties are called periodic properties. We have so many periodic properties. See, first atomic size, next ionization energy, electron affinity, electronegativity, electropositivity, metallic and non-metallic character, nature of oxides. All these are the periodic properties. First one is atomic radius or atomic size. First one is atomic radius. Atomic radius means the distance between the center of the nucleus and electron cloud of valence orbit is called atomic radius. If you take one atom, electron density is distributed like this. The distance between the center of the nucleus and electron cloud of valence orbit is called atomic radius. See, this electron cloud is distributed up to the infinite distance. So it is difficult to measure this distance. But this distance can be measured easily. If you take two atoms, their internuclear distance can be measured easily. Internuclear distance can be measured easily. Internuclear distance means, see, this is one atom. If you take another atom, this is another atom. This is the nucleus of first atom. This is the nucleus of first atom. This is the nucleus of second atom. This distance can be measured by using X-ray studies, by using X-ray diffraction methods. This distance can be measured. Then half of this distance is nothing but atomic radius. So atomic radius is nothing but the distance, the internuclear distance between two adjacent atoms is called atomic radius. This atomic radius is expressed in angstroms, nanometers, or picometers. Atomic radius is expressed in angstroms, nanometers, or picometers. This atomic radius is three types. See, first one, crystal radius. First one is crystal radius or metallic radius. Crystal radius or metallic radius. Crystal radius or metallic radius. This is a crystal radius or metallic radius is used for metals. So crystal radius or metallic radius means, suppose if you take one crystal lattice, means metal, one metal lattice. Atoms are arranged like this. Like three-dimensionally, here it is not possible to draw. Three-dimensional atoms are arranged. If this is sodium crystal lattice, if this is sodium metal, this internuclear distance, this can be measured easily. Then half of this distance is nothing but atomic radius of sodium. This internuclear distance can be measured by using X-ray diffraction studies. Then half of this distance is nothing but atomic radius of sodium. Or even this distance also, this can be measured. This is also internuclear distance. Distance between the two nuclei. Even this is also, this can be measured. Then half of that distance is nothing but crystal radius or metallic radius. So this can be defined as half of the internuclear distance between two adjacent metal atoms. in a crystal lattice is called crystal radius or metallic radius. Half of the internuclear distance between two adjacent metal atoms in a crystal lattice is called crystal radius or metallic radius. In that sodium crystal lattice, this distance is this internuclear distance is 3.72 angstroms, nothing but 372 picometers. This internuclear distance is 372 picometers. Then crystal radius is half of this. Half of this means 372 by 2. That is 186 picometers. 186 picometers. Crystal radius or metallic radius means half of the internuclear distance between two adjacent metal atoms in a crystal lattice is called crystal radius or metallic radius. This crystal radius is applicable for metals. Crystal radius or metallic radius is used for metals. Next, the second one is covalent radius. Covalent radius. So if we take chlorine molecule, in that chlorine molecule between two chlorine atoms, covalent bond is present. Between two chlorine atoms, covalent bond is present. This is chlorine molecule. This is one chlorine atom. This is another chlorine atom. Between these two chlorine atoms, covalent bond is present. Between these two chlorine atoms, covalent bond is present. So this distance is nothing but internuclear distance. This internuclear distance is 198 picometers. See, these values you should remember, experimentally determined values, these values. In chlorine molecule, this internuclear distance is 198 picometers. Then covalent radius of chlorine is half of this. Half of this means 99 picometers. So covalent radius means half of the internuclear distance between two covalently bonded atoms is called covalent radius. Half of the internuclear distance between two covalently bonded atoms is called covalent radius. In that Cl2 molecule between two chlorine atoms, covalent bond is present. This is one chlorine atom, this is another chlorine atom. This distance is nothing but internuclear distance. Half of this distance is nothing but atomic radius of that chlorine. So half of the internuclear distance between two chlorine atoms, two adjacent atoms which are held together by covalent bonds is called covalent radius. Half of the internuclear distance between two covalently bonded atoms is called covalent radius. Example, in Cl2 molecule between two chlorine atoms, distance is 198 by 2 picometers. Then covalent radius is 99 picometers. Next, this covalent radius is used for non-metals. Metallic radius is used for metals. Covalent radius is used for non-metals. Next, third one, van der Waals radius. Van der Waals radius. Van der Waals radius is nothing but, see here, between two chlorine atoms, covalent bond is present. If we take neutral molecules, between the neutral molecules, van der Waals force of attractions are present. Between the neutral molecules, see, this is one Cl2 molecule. This is one Cl2 molecule. I am taking another Cl2 molecule. This is another Cl2 molecule. Within that Cl2 molecule, covalent bond is present. Within the Cl2 molecule, covalent bond is present. Between the Cl2 molecules, van der Waals forces are present. Van der Waals attraction forces. Van der Waals forces nothing but attraction forces between the neutral molecules are called van der Waals forces. These are very weak forces. Van der Waals attraction forces are very weak forces. See here, first this distance is measured, then half of this distance is nothing but van der Waals radius. So this can be defined as half of the internuclear distance between two adjacent atoms, two adjacent atoms which are held together by, which are two adjacent atoms of molecules which are held together by van der Waals forces is called van der Waals, is called van der Waals radius. See, half of the internuclear distance between two adjacent atoms of molecules, two adjacent atoms of molecules which are held together by, which are held together, which are held together by van der Waals forces is called van der Waals radius. Half of the internuclear distance between two adjacent atoms of molecules which are held together by van der Waals forces is called van der Waals radius. This is one Cl2 molecule, this is another Cl2 molecule. Between these molecules, weak van der Waals force of attractions are there. These are the adjacent atoms. These are the adjacent atoms of these two molecules. We should not take this atom and this atom. Even we should not take this atom and this atom. We should not take this atom and this atom also. These two are the adjacent atoms of these two molecules. This atom and this atom. These are the adjacent atoms of two molecules. So first, this distance is measured, is determined by using X-ray diffraction studies. Then half of this distance is nothing but van der Waals radius. Half of the internuclear distance between two adjacent atoms of molecules which are held together by van der Waals forces is called van der Waals radius. This is applicable only for inert gases. Applicable for inert gases in their solid state. Generally, it is used for inert gases in their solid state. This is applicable for metals, for non-metals. Generally, this van der Waals radius is used for inert gases in their solid state. This van der Waals radius is more than van der Waals radius is more than crystal radius and covalent radius, because here this distance is more. In that Cl2 molecule, if you take Cl2 molecule, the distance is 360 picometers. Then half of this distance, 360 by 2. 180 picometers. 180 picometers. Don't compare this value. I am telling that van der Waals radius is more than these two. This van der Waals radius is for chlorine. This is for chlorine. But here this crystal radius is 186 is for sodium. For a given element, van der Waals radius is always greater than these two atomic radius. That order is like this. First, van der Waals radius greater than van der Waals radius greater than crystal radius or metallic radius. Crystal radius or metallic radius greater than covalent radius. This is the order of various atomic radii. So next, variation of atomic radius. Variation of atomic radius. Variation of atomic radius in periods. Variation of atomic radius in periods. So in periods left to right, as atomic number increases, atomic radius decreases. In periods from left to right, as the atomic number increases, atomic radius decreases. If you take groups, in groups top to bottom, in groups top to bottom, as the atomic number increases, number of orbits increases. Number of orbits increases. See, if you take hydrogen, lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium, francium, these are first A group elements. For hydrogen, electronic configuration is 1s1. For lithium, 1s2, 2s1. Here only one orbit is present, but in case of lithium, 2 orbits. In case of sodium, 3 orbits. as the number of orbits increases. 1 orbit, 2 orbits, 3 orbits. If you take in groups top to bottom, as the atomic number increases, number of orbits increases. Number of orbits increases. So as the number of orbits increases, atomic radius also increases. But in periods, see in periods, see if we take lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, neon, left to right. See for lithium 1s2, 2s1. For neon 1s2, 2s2, 2p6. Here two orbits are there. 1s2, 2s1, two orbits. Here also two orbits only. Should not consider like this 1, 2, 3 like that. First orbit, second orbit. Only two orbits are there. Lithium has only two orbits. Even last element of that period also has two orbits. So number of orbits remains same. In periods, as the atomic number increases, differentiating electron enters into the same orbit. In periods, left to right, as the atomic number increases, differentiating electron enters into the same orbit. At the same time, nuclear charge increases. At the same time, nuclear charge or effective nuclear charge. Lithium atomic number is 3. That means it has 3 protons in its nucleus. Beryllium atomic number is 4. For neon, 10. Effective nuclear charge increases. Left to right, as the atomic number increases, differentiating electron enters into the same orbit. At the same time, effective nuclear charge increases. Effective nuclear charge increase means atomic radius decreases. So left to right, atomic radius decreases. In periods, left to right, atomic radius decreases. These are the second period elements. Lithium to beryllium, atomic radius decreases. Beryllium to boron decreases. Boron to carbon decreases. So left to right, atomic radius decreases. It decreases up to 7th group elements only, not from first element to last element. In every period, first element is alkali metal, first A group element. First A group element. Last element is 0 group element. Atomic radius decreases from first A to 7th A group elements, not from first A to 0, not up to 0. From first A to 7th A, atomic radius gradually decreases. From 7th A to 0, atomic radius suddenly increases. Atomic radius suddenly increases because for 0 group elements, van der Waals radius is considered. For 0 group elements, van der Waals radius is considered. That van der Waals radius is more than covalent radius and metallic radius. That's why left to right atomic radius decrease up to 7th A group. Atomic radius decrease left to right from first A to 7th A. So in every period, other than this 0 group, except 0 group, remaining S and P block elements are called representative elements. Except 0 group, remaining S and P block elements are called representative elements. So in case of representative elements, in every period, largest atom is alkali metal, smallest atom is halogen. In every period, largest atom is alkali metal, smallest atom is halogen. If we consider this 0 group element also, its atomic radius is even larger than this lithium. Other than neon means this is the largest atom, this is the smallest atom. If you consider 0 group elements also, its radius is even larger than this first element also. If you take third period elements also like that. If you take third period elements, first element is sodium, last element argon. Here chlorine is present. Atomic radius decreases from sodium to chlorine. Here suddenly increases. So here largest atom is sodium in case of representative elements. Largest atom is sodium, smallest atom is chlorine. If you consider 0 group elements also means this is larger atom. This is larger than even sodium also. If we take first period elements, first period contains only 2 elements, hydrogen and helium. Hydrogen and helium. In first period, left to right, atomic radius increases. Only in first period, left to right atomic radius increases because first period contains only 2 elements, hydrogen and helium. Helium is 0 group element. Helium is inert gas. For inert gas elements, atomic radius is largest. So in first period, atomic radius increases. In remaining periods, left to right, atomic radius decreases. In groups, variation of atomic radius in groups. In groups, no doubts, top to bottom, as atomic number increases, number of orbits increases. So as the number of orbits increases, atomic radius increases. This is the variation of atomic radius in case of representative elements only, in periods and in groups. Next, in transition elements and inner transition elements also we can explain.